And I believe it's hard enough to have one's own values congruent, right? To have the values that matter most in your life lined up perfectly. Because when that happens, if you've ever read Napoleon Hill, The Law of Attraction, The Secret, that's when the right people come into your life in every sense, and the right things happen, sometimes almost supernaturally. But when miracles happen is when an organization, a community, has its values aligned. And that's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. Just look at the country today and how difficult that is. So I have to thank Blake for saying all those great things, but it's become easier and easier because we have great people, great products, great company. Is Don Jacobs here? John Jacobs was with me last night, former NBA player, and he's talking about getting other athletes involved, and he said, you know, we might be able to get Michael Jordan. I know Michael Jordan. And you know what I said to him? We don't need Michael Jordan. In fact, I'm not even sure if I want Michael Jordan, not because he's a bad guy, but because what we want is something very simple. We want somebody that cares enough to try the product so they're authentic, that use the product so that they live that experience, because otherwise it's hollow, right? What they have to say. Why would you believe somebody that doesn't use the product? That's the first thing. The second thing is somebody that loves helping other people. Those are our values. And that's us, right? That is who we are. And can you imagine anything better than for me to watch Eric Dickerson, who's very careful with what he supports, and to listen to Blake give us permission to give him a lot of product for month after month until he was ready. And then did you see how authentic Eric was? The truth teller, as he said. Don't ask me a question unless you want to hear the truth. So I want to share with you a couple things because I think the magic is there for us now for many reasons. Manifested by all the athletes jumping on board, manifested in Asia coming up, all the growth in Europe, etc. New products. And that is my experience with Champions for the Homeless, which is a program I never knew or expected to grow. We do it on Easter Sunday, coming up in a week. Anybody in Phoenix, please come. It's amazing. We do it on Christmas. We do it on Thanksgiving. We do it in the summer. We started with 15 volunteers. And we give out flowers. We give out a few gift certificates. We got a few musicians. And in 13 years, that's grown from 15 volunteers to 500 volunteers. Now, I want you to think about that. In the Bible, it says if there's more than 2 or more of you, I will be there. What if there's 500 and they're all on the same page and they all believe in caring deeply and sincerely and making somebody whose life has been shit, I'm just going to say it once today, sorry, whose life has been awful, who's often had lost a job through no fault of their own and had a huge medical emergency and suddenly they are out and they think it's permanently. And so we witnessed, and I witnessed these incredible miracles. One person on Christmas 2015, and there's a Fox television story talking about our program, and he's an individual from Ohio, and he simply says, the homeless man, he said, you know, I'm from Ohio, and I just moved here a month ago, and I've never felt so much love and hospitality in all my life. And I thought, how perfect is that? And yet how simple is that? It's not a business proposition that you can measure, but it's the most real thing in the world. To give hope to somebody. You've heard these stories. Sadie was so amazing yesterday and the others today. So at the beginning of the event, there are all these people that have volunteered, but they still want to have something to do. They still want to have something specific. What do I do? What do I do? There are 500 volunteers. Only about 100 need to serve food, clear the tables, clean up, and the rest, we hand out flowers, we have some amazing musicians, and we have each group begin to sponsor a table. And when they sponsor that table, this is what I tell them. It doesn't matter what else you do. If you take the time at this table with 6 people sitting there, and you give them maybe a $5 gift certificate to Starbucks or McDonald's just to begin a conversation, and you let them know they're the most important thing in the world, and you want to know their story, you have to see the way, if you see a homeless person, you see 1,000 crusted, hard-edged layers on their soul. And the greatest thing is to see this just disappear in front of you. So I'm giving this as an example because what we're doing at Kannaway is helping ourselves find a home and a purpose that we can do the rest of our lives, that will heal ourselves first and then others. And the great thing about it is, I believe God's given each one of you specific, amazing gifts. And the more you do it, the better you get the rest of your life. It will never stop. Your capacity, your intuition, and then once again, these people will come into your life. You're like, why? How did that happen? And yet, these miracles happen. So my prayer for us on Palm Sunday is that we have that alignment, which we already have at a beautiful level, and we keep building it, because that will permanently change everything. Now, why do I bring that up? Because miracles do happen. In October, I had radical prostatectomy. I had prostate cancer diagnosed in August. And the first thing I did was think how lucky I was, seriously, that I had a friend in Stuart Titus that I could call, and other friends that had endured cancer. And we agreed 300 milligrams a day will make a difference. If you've seen the videos, you know about apoptosis, cell selection for death is improved, and angiogenesis. And so I started taking it every day. And when I had the surgery, I had what was called a Gleason 8 score, which is a more aggressive form of cancer. And when they took it out, and they do a little autopsy on the prostate, they said, "Ooh, the amount that you had is even smaller than before, and it's no longer a Gleason 8, it's a Gleason 7, it's a less virulent." And that was just in a couple months. So that's where these references, they start on an intellectual level, but how powerful are they when they go inside? And it's your life. So now it's gotten even more personal, because 2 weeks ago, my beautiful, wonderful brother Chris was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And he was diagnosed with dementia 2 months ago. So we moved him out to Phoenix. And I haven't even told him this. And guess what we did? What I've been doing? Giving him our products. Right, Debbie? Right? Where's Jeff? Where are you, buddy? Randy? The whole crew? All of you. I love you guys. Right? My brother, in 5 weeks, he has a twin. And his twin called me as I was flying here at the airport. And he said, "You know, Nick, I just spent the last 4 hours with Chris. I've never seen him happier, more positive, more alert, more engaged in 40 years. That's my brother and his twin. And you know, twins, I was very sick. You can imagine what that's like, what that means to me. And it's just the beginning. It's only after 4 or 5 weeks. Whew. Is there anything better than that? To know that you're saying something that's that miraculous? So, that's why I believe in this company. I believe in it because I get to see an Eric Dickerson with his sleep and getting off Darvocet, as he said yesterday. You know, he hasn't told too many people he was taking Darvocet, but he told us. And each one of you, you know already, people that have been permanently changed by this work. So I am so honored to be part of this team because I represent something that will heal the world, right? So, as a company, I'm not going to jump up and down like Jeff and dance around through the aisles again, but that we should be dancing because our values are aligned, and that's where the future of this company will guarantee miracles far more than we've ever believed in the science itself to prove that what's happened now, and my particular focus with football players in the brain and concussions and CTE, is CTE is now being kicked in the head in a good way, in the butt, because we are allowing science to educate us and map the brain as never before. Miracles like angiogenesis are one thing, also neurogenesis. Stuart Titus has probably told you about that in the Salk Institute, where we can actually grow the brain. So miracles are in this room. Never forget what you're doing is a miracle. And it's the stuff you can do the rest of your life. So God bless all of you. Go home, be safe. I have a saying, it's the most simple thing of all. You know, as athletes, we're so narcissistic, you know, such a narcissistic culture. And I like to say something, I've said it, and it just, to me, it summarizes it. It's not the brightness of the spotlight on you, it's the intensity of the light within you that's the ultimate measure of a human being. And that's the measure of us as a company. So, rock and roll, I love you. Don't forget this moment, this chance to be a hero, a champion. And with that, since we always back up our words with our actions, I am going to call out the birthday boy, Brad Tails, who will hold for me. And you know we're going to have an auction for this for Echo, that beautiful, beautiful affirmation of what we're really all about. So you, young man, I read. Yeah. Okay. So who wants this? This is signed by Eric Dickerson and by yours truly. All right. Oh, we're good there.
Oh my gosh. Wow.